Hey there, and welcome. You ever just look up at the night sky and get that feeling of, wow? Well, we're about to take that feeling and crank it way up. Come on, let's dive into 5 scientifically proven facts about our universe that honestly sound more like science fiction than actual reality. So let me start by asking you something that might sound a little weird. When you look at the world around you, are you absolutely positive you're seeing things as they are, right this very second? The answer, you'll see, is a bit of a mind-bender, and it all starts with the brightest thing in our sky. Okay, so our first stop on this little cosmic tour is our very own sun. I mean, it feels right there, doesn't it? It's just up there, a constant presence. But believe it or not, there's a cosmic time delay built into every single ray of sunlight. Get this number in your head, 8 minutes and 20 seconds. That's it. That's the travel time. That's how long it takes for a single photon of light to leave the surface of the sun and travel all the way across space to hit your eye here on Earth. You see, light is incredibly fast, but it isn't instant. And across the 93 million miles between us and the sun, that travel time really adds up. Think about it. If the sun were to just, poof, vanish, we wouldn't even know about it for over 8 minutes. Every time you look up, you're literally seeing a ghost of our star. Now, speaking of things we can't exactly see, let's zoom out, way out, from our little solar system to the entire cosmos. We tend to think of the universe as just this endless sea of stars and galaxies. But what if I told you that everything you've ever seen, with your eyes or through a telescope, is barely even there?
Just look at that tiny, tiny sliver, a mere 5%. That's everything. Every star, every planet, you, me, this planet, all of it. The other 95% of our universe, it's made of stuff that is completely invisible to us.
So you got to be asking, if we can't see it, how in the world do we know it exists? Well, we see what it does. We see dark matter's massive gravitational pull, acting like cosmic glue, holding entire galaxies together and stopping them from flying apart. And at the same time, we can measure dark energy, acting like a cosmic engine, pushing everything apart and making the universe expand faster and faster. It's wild. Thinking about that cosmic expansion, that big stretch, it kind of begs a question, right? If the universe is expanding, what's it expanding from? Like, where's the middle? Where's the center of it all? And the answer is, well, it's nowhere, and it's everywhere. The key thing to wrap your head around is that the Big Bang wasn't an explosion in space. It was the expansion of space itself. Here's a good way to picture it. Imagine drawing a bunch of dots on a balloon. As you blow it up, all the dots move away from each other, but there's no single dot that's the center of the expansion. That's our universe. We're all on the surface of that balloon. Okay, so the universe as a whole is pretty abstract. I get it. But what about the actual planets and stars, the things floating around inside it? Turns out they've got some equally bizarre secrets of their own. For our next amazing fact, we're heading to a planet we all know and love, the gorgeous ringed giant Saturn. It is a true behemoth, the second largest planet in our solar system, but it's hiding a surprisingly light secret. It all comes down to one simple concept: density. See, Saturn's a gas giant, mostly made of the lightest elements, hydrogen and helium. So even though it's unbelievably massive, all that mass is spread out over a gigantic volume. And that makes its average density actually less than water. And yep, that means exactly what you think it means. If you could somehow build a bathtub big enough to hold a planet and you filled it with water, Saturn would just float. It would bob around like a giant ringed bath toy. How cool is that? All right, for our final fact, we're going on a hunt. A hunt for the absolute most bone-chillingly cold spot in the entire known universe. And I promise you, you're going to be surprised where we find it. So, go on, take a guess. What do you think? The deep, empty void between galaxies? The dark side of some far-flung, frozen planet? Most people think deep space, and, for good reason. It is incredibly cold out there. But it's not the record holder. Not even close. So the background temperature of deep space hovers around a chilly 2.7 Kelvin. That's about minus 455 degrees Fahrenheit. But in labs right here on Earth, scientists have gone colder. Way, way colder. That's right, the coldest known place in the entire universe is here. Inside special labs, using lasers and magnets, scientists have managed to cool atoms down to just fractions of a degree above absolute zero. That's the theoretical point where all atomic motion just stops. And this isn't just for bragging rights. This kind of research is paving the way for things like quantum computers. So yeah, the most extreme cold in the cosmos wasn't found out there. We made it right here.
So there you have it. We've learned that looking at the sun is basically time travel, that 95% of the universe is totally invisible, that there is no center of the universe, that a giant planet could float in a bathtub, and that the coldest spot we know of is on Earth. I gotta ask, which one of those really blew your mind?
If you had fun on this little trip through the cosmos, make sure you follow FactPulseMedia, because we have got plenty more mind-bending explainers just like this one. Thanks for hanging out with me.